Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and today we're going to speak about truth. So what's today's update? I had to recalibrate for this one. So what is recalibration? Recalibration is transcendental meditation until you discover and put all the pieces together and then you come back, right? You cannot put all the pieces together when you're distracted and you're, upon your daily life. You need to unplug in order to assemble the pieces. So that's exactly what I did. Because my last video is, quite shocking. I wonder how many people have gone through what I've gone through. Probably a whole lot. A whole lot. So I decided to continue upon that truth and discover exactly what's really going on. So Isaac Cappy, I was watching his videos, and Isaac Cappy, incredible person, incredible human being, and a truth teller. He was exposing the Illuminatis, although he was within them. He was exposing full throttle, like he was not hiding anything whatsoever. Then his friends, he had like some, time with his friends. He had an event. He said he went really, really high. They must have done some substances, And then he dropped really low. And when he dropped low, his friends made him bet on some digital gambling thing. He said as soon as he pressed the button, he knew that he did the wrong thing. They used his free will against him when he was vulnerable, and he lost his life as a consequence. So they offed him. So they didn't off him because he was talking. That was what initiated it. That's what pissed them off, for them to do the gambling trick, right? But if he hadn't followed the gambling trick, he would have been alive today. So this is all spiritual. This is a spiritual warfare. Like me going, that person with that name did this to him, is not going to solve anything because it's spiritual. We need to understand what's happening in the spirits, right? So Isaac Cappy, when he made that video about his confession about what happened, he went to a yogi and the yogi said the best you can do is explain exactly your experience. So he was basically explaining, and as he was explaining, you can see in his face, he was really happy that the heydays are coming. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss out. Oh, it's going to be great, and I'm gonna miss out." He kept on saying that. So what was he talking about? He was talking about the prophecy. And I've heard about the prophecy as well. The prophecy, I've heard many. Jesus is coming back. I heard, there's aliens that's going to come down and help us. I've heard so many prophecies. America is going to split in 3. So which one's right? Donald Trump's going to be the last president, right? There's a lot of prophecies. Mary Magdalene's coming back. Sophia Energy's coming back, right? So, in my opinion, they're all correct. But the prophecy that he was talking about, I believe, is the Jesus and Mary Magdalene's children. It's the ancestors, the descendants of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. I think that's what it is. Because I was able to put the 2 and 2 together. Like before, when people mentioned Mary Magdalene, I was seeing the synchronicities, but I wasn't connecting the dots because I couldn't see it. Hey, listen, if somebody comes and says, "You're Jesus and Mary Magdalene's, descendants," you can't just be like, "Okay, let me take the mic and pretend that's what I am," right? That's a humiliation ritual. If you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't do that, right? So I saw the synchronicities, but it wasn't enough. Like I hadn't built enough momentum to be able to look back and be like, "Oh, okay, now it makes sense." As you can see, when I was at the Billy Carson show, I couldn't even see my future. I couldn't even see ahead 5 years. Now I see crystal clear. Now we are here, right in the middle of world wars and enlightenment, right? That's what we're cleaning up. So as you can see, it's disastrous all the way to the world war. You have evolution, but it's pretty dark, right? And then once you hit enlightenment, you see the little ball, the little world is slowly getting bigger and bigger, right? Just like a sloth. You can't move faster than time. You can't move faster than the stars. You have to coordinate. So as you can see, the ball is getting bigger, bigger, bigger. That's where we are right now. I've seen this map many times and I wasn't able to connect the dots. Why are we there right now? Because I finally discovered my purpose. I've always known that genetically I'm advanced, okay? That I've always known. And lately, after SpaceX, my job at SpaceX, they're constantly losing my blood. Every time I go to the hospital, my blood is lost. They need some more. It's always like that. I can give you this series of, reasons they gave me, but that's just going to waste time. Bottom line, they're stealing my blood. Okay, so that's another clue. Then last clue is I was able to put this together 2 days ago. So my mom's Mary, my aunt is Mariam, my name is Sarah. My grandma wanted to call me Mina, but my mom said that she really, really wanted Sarah. She really wanted me to be called Sarah. So you know what? It's not an accident. Mina is more popular than Sarah in my country. So technically it should have won. But she emphasized on Sarah. Just like how I wanted to call my dog Esmeralda. Everyone said it's too long. No, it's not too long. Esmeralda. You can say it. You're a big person. You're an adult. You can say it. Esmeralda. So, it irritated me that people were like, no, change the name, change the name. I don't want to change the name. And now I understand why. Because Esmeralda is Sarah. She's Mary Magdalene's daughter in the Hunchback of Notre Dame. She's black, the Black Madonna. It makes perfect sense. She's a gypsy. She's getting rid of Frollo and she's helping the hunchback. So she's helping the minorities, the underdog, and she's getting rid of the Illuminati. Listen, it all makes sense, like synchronicity, right? Now, if you're still not convinced, this is what did it for me. I went to École Notre-Dame de Grâce, which is School of Notre Dame, right? So again, Notre Dame of Paris, same thing. Then my mom wanted to put me in a private school. Thank God I failed the test because it was a private school with nuns and it was really religious. And I remember the place freaked me out. So I failed the exam, but I think I failed it subconsciously on purpose. That place was called Villa Maria. And it was a bunch of nuns operating that school. The teachers were nuns. So I remember I didn't want to go there. So instead, we moved to the suburbs. We moved to the suburbs and I went to a school called École de la Magdeleine, School of Magdalene. So, all the synchronicities is in my face. We're Muslim, but my mom always loved Jesus. Her entire life, she was praising to Jesus. She never praised to Muhammad or anyone else. So I found that a little weird too. If we're Muslim, why are you such a fan of Jesus? Why don't you turn to, become Christian, So a lot of things like that. Now I'm finally connecting the dots. So if today somebody says you're the, and descendants of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, today I would be confident to say, yes, I am. Although I can't prove it, but I can prove that my DNA is advanced because they keep losing my blood. So there's the proof right there. So hypothetically, let's just say that's a story. I believe it, but let's just say it's a story for entertainment purposes, okay? So after my last video, the threats got really bad. I got a bunch of threats over the phone. I got people trying to hack my account. I got a guy with a machete at the park near my house. And it's okay because, like I said, I'm very protected. As soon as I went to the park, there was this white guy with 2 dogs that told me, don't go that way because there's a guy with a machete. So to me, I got angels everywhere speaking on behalf of humans to me. And hence, I'm protected. So you can send all the men with machetes to the park. It's never going to catch to me. It's never going to touch me. Also, I had some influencers reach out to me out of nowhere. I never registered for their newsletter. But out of nowhere, they're selling me tea. So is there poison in your tea? I'm not going to give your name because I know they're forcing you to do this. So I feel sorry for you for doing this. But I'm not going to out you because I know they're forcing you to do this. So after all of this, I have had a difficult life, but I've always loved my life. Like I loved my friends, I loved my family. Even if I did get betrayed really bad times, up until that betrayal, everything was great. So no complaints here. And I'm glad that I've had a really difficult life like that. I can look at everybody's life and see an eagle's point of view. Because birds of a feather flock together. Eagles fly alone. This is why I don't fit anywhere, because I'm not meant to fit with anyone. And I see from the ego's point of view. I see a view that nobody else can see because everyone's in it, right? So another advantage that I have, and you can only have this view if you have a more advanced DNA, because you have to be able to handle what you see, right? So today's video is very compact. I don't want to make it too complicated. I'm going to make videos more often. I know I've said this before, but I had to recalibrate and see what the hell's going on. After my last video, I was like, no, I got to take this seriously and see why the Illuminatis are after me like this. And they've been after me since SpaceX. They've marked me since then. So why is the Freemasons or the Illuminatis such horrible people? I'm going to tell you. Because this world has both masculine and feminine energy, okay? What the people from Mars have done, right? The energies from Mars that have come to this planet and have taken over bodies, because you're allowing it, right? You're selling your soul to the devil to become famous, so you're allowing it. You're allowing the devil to use your vessel. Now, let's say it's not from Mars. Let's take the book of Enoch and talk about the fallen angels. So at some point, we have giants, right? We found the skeletons of giants that people are hiding. It's a fact. There was giants on this planet. Not everyone was 5'5" or 5'4", you know? So what happened to these giants? These were fallen angels, the babies of the Nephilims. The aliens came and had babies with the beautiful women of this planet. They couldn't help themselves, right? As usual. And had babies, and that's what happened. You had like these monsters, these 10-foot tall, whatever. So when they died, they didn't ascend. So Enoch says that when these fallen angels died, because there was a civil war, they killed each other off. There was a civil war, everyone killed each other off, and the spirits are in the astral realm. They can't ascend. So if you don't believe the Mars story, then you should believe the Enoch story. Go to the religion and see the fallen angels, the spirits are luring, lingering. So these spirits have lingered for like centuries, for very long time, for millennials, right? So when you look at somebody, try to look at the energy behind, because they're just using another vessel, right? When that vessel dies, they just use another vessel. So once you pinpoint the energy, you'll understand. So with the Freemason, which is, we're giving freedom and liberty. No, you're not. You're not. You're killing people's freedom and liberty, but you make it seem like you're giving freedom. But the Freemasons are not giving freedom. Listen, any cult that says they're religious or not religious, that they have their own laws, their own gods, that makes no sense. That's your own anarchy. Right? If you can create a world and make it a better place, then great. But if you're creating a world and you're making it worse, that's not religion, right? That's a cover-up. So what the Illuminatis and the Freemasons are doing is they're controlling the power, right? They're looking at life coaches, or they're looking at, presidents of companies, and whoever that makes it up until a certain level, they step in. They step in just like the way they stepped in with me. Oh, if you sign up with us, we'll give you $250,000 a year with a car, and you'll have, political advantage. You'll have career advantage. We'll give you high-paying clients. That $1 million client for that life coach. I'm not gonna say who, but nobody believes that. Nobody in their mind would ever give that person $1 million for advice. I've worked with incredible consultants from companies that are as smart as Elon Musk, and they get $10,000 per advice. So that's why it makes no sense that these youngsters are coming in, I got $1 million. No, you didn't. You got $1 million to pull your pants down. That's what you got. That was your first high-paying client. And you don't believe me? Just look at them. They're deteriorating in front of us because they don't understand the laws of the universe. They don't understand the laws that God have created because they're below it. They're not equal to it. They think they're above it, but you got to be insane to think that you're above the laws of God. I'm here to prove to you that you're not above. So this is the way I see, okay? I saw this guy that I'm following. He's incredible. He gets downloads and he talks about it. And he's like, wow, I can't believe this one person took a whole cult. And it's not intimidating once you see it. It's intimidating if you don't see what you see. But once you see the parasites, because they operate like parasites, that's what they do. They have an original person go in, right? And then they get rid of that person and they take over. They're a parasite. That's why once you look at an energy, you'll understand who's a parasite and who's a pure human, right? Parasites, the word says it. They're like viruses. They leech and they never let go, right? obsession, controlling, they're above God, it's their way or the highway. These are parasite features, right? Which is the Illuminati, the Freemasons. Call them whatever you want. Cult leaders, right? So they're not helping the world. The way I see it, because I see it from above, it's like a kid that takes two trucks and goes to the corner and bangs them together. And he's like, this is my world. Okay, child, take your trucks, go to the corner and create your crappy world. That's what I see. Because I see that they're banging their cars and they're in a loop. They can't get out of it. And then I see the lineup of people that are like, oh, I want to be in between those cars. Okay, so line up. One after the other, let's round them over. Like, come on, are you okay? That's what I see. So I understand that I need to come here and explain what I see. Because only once you see what I see, you're going to see they're parasites. They're not intimidating. Listen, the first show I saw, he had the aura of a weasel. Aura of a weasel. Why? Because they're not in truth, right? When you're entertaining a crowd of 200 people, crowd that you've put there, right? You have to control the crowd. That's not people from the outside. Crowd that you've put there, what happens? As soon as you're on stage, you're like, all right, I'm playing a role, right? So as soon as you're like, I'm playing a role, that shows in your aura, right? You're not coming into the stage and you're like, I'm a life coach. What do you have question? What do you have question? What's your question? Teal Swan did that 20 years ago. Teal Swan is an incredible life coach. She's the first life coach I went on stage. I went to her stage. I asked my questions. She made me feel really comfortable. I remember I was having a great time. I had such a great time at the Teal Swan event in Vegas. So she answered two of my impossible questions. The first question was, what's wrong with my aura? And second question was, how do I find my soulmate? Two impossible questions, right? If somebody asks me that today, with the power that I have, I wouldn't be able to answer that. Because for me to read your aura, I need to speak to you, right? And for me to find out why you can't match with your twin flame, I need to speak to you more. I need to get to know you to see, where the problem is. So I got on stage. I asked my questions. I felt so comfortable. I was nervous raising my hand. I remember that. But as soon as she picked me, I felt amazing. So I went, I asked my questions. We laughed. I made her audience laugh. We're having a great time. I was very comfortable. When she was done, I remember she nodded to me to see if I was satisfied with my answer. I was satisfied. I nodded back and I stepped off the stage. Great experience. That's what a life coach is. Okay. This was 15, 20 years ago. So to me, Teal Swan is a real life coach. So how come she didn't blow up like, let's say, Peter Crone, right? Peter Crone is a celebrity. Peter Crone is more of a celebrity than he's a life coach. Teal Swan is more of a life coach than she is a celebrity. Okay? So if we look at the intentions, the Illuminati should have promoted Teal Swan. She should be doing tours all over the place. I looked, everything is to be determined, to be determined. And at the event, she showed up with 4 or 5 bodyguards. I remember that. I told myself, like, wow, she must be scared for her life. She honestly showed up with 4 or 5 bodyguards, right? So the Illuminatis are scaring her, right? They're putting her in fear. They're like, we need to give you bodyguards because people want to kill you, right? And then Peter Crone, he has all the support in the world. He has his A-list actor friend. I remember because the girl next to me wanted a picture with him. He said no. He said that he was here to support his friend, right? So Peter Crone has A-list actors helping him. He has a whole team. He had a social media girl, the Lebanese girl. I also spoke to her, right? So you have a whole team for this one man that didn't earn his place. And then the girl that did earn her place, the professional one, the real life coach, gets threatened and she has to walk around with bodyguards. So how does that make sense? Make it make sense. Peter Crone got all the information from me. I submitted 3 videos. I gave him a letter. All he did is extract information from me. When I had a conversation with him, none of the conversation went anywhere. I was actually one of the worst conversations I've ever had with somebody. So how is he a life coach? He did help. He did help for the $44 that I paid him to go to the show. He did help as much as he could. But in my opinion, Teal Swan would have done a much better job if she would have had the team to support her. Also, when I reached out to Peter Crone to organize an event, he's the only one that tried to sue me. Teal Swan didn't try to sue me. The Alchemist didn't try to sue me. Aaron Dowdy, Victor Otto, Nick, Thor. Nobody tried to sue me. Peter Crone is the one that tried to sue me. So look at it this way. If Peter Crone was a real life coach and not a wannabe celebrity, he would have been very happy. He would have been like, you know what? Thank you for the invite. I can't because I have agents. I have contracts I need to, respect. But thank you for the offer. A real human would have done that. That's how I know this person is completely disconnected from his emotions. I saw it myself. So you're a life coach and you're disconnected from your emotions, and yet you're like one of the top sellers. Really? I don't know. You see what the Illuminatis are doing? They're decreasing the feminine energy by increasing the masculine energy. And what's the masculine energy? It's destruction. They're not letting us grow, and they're not letting us live at our fullest potential. And I know, because every time I hit a certain level at all these companies, listen, I worked next to presidents for 20 years. For 20 years, I worked next to presidents alongside. And I was never able to go up a certain ceiling. Why? Because they don't let you. So I'm here to expose the whole scam, because it is a scam. It's pathetic how they're controlling people. Pathetic. You gotta roofie their drink and pass them around? That's how you control the upcoming yogis? Really? Are you sure you're a yogi yourself? You do go around calling yourself Buddha. Really? You think you're Buddha? Bro, you're not even equivalent to Buddha's diarrhea, man. Don't ever go around calling yourself Buddha when you sacrifice people. Okay, so how are they so enlightened if they're mean people, right? Evil people. They're enlightened because of the sex magic, because of the orgies, right? When you have orgies with so many people like that constantly, you're constantly in the enlightenment vibration, right? But what happens when you take away the adrenochrome? Adrenochrome. Why do you think they look so young? Why do you think Robert Grant looks so young? Adrenochrome, adrenochrome. And how do you get adrenochrome? You gotta torture the child or the victim. That's why the Bohemian Grove, they have a hunting seasons, right? They hunt in the woods because they want the person to be really scared, fill up with DMT, right? When you're scared and go crazy, you're filling yourself up with DMT. And then they drink that blood. And then they stay young. The blood that they steal from me. Now you see? They want my blood? But they can't get my blood just like that. They have to destroy me, lower me to their vibration, to their disgusting level, right? So then they can say that she offed herself. But she left us a baby before she offed herself. And what do you think they're going to do with the baby with pure blood, right? Naughty, naughty, Illuminati. So this is why I was thinking about it. I was like, should I make a video and just give out all the names? Because I know exactly who's dirty. You can just look, they're decaying in front of everyone's eyes. So as they decay, they're going to give themselves out. Because if I do give out names, I'm going to get targeted. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to be responsible for anyone's disgusting life, right? Your life is disgusting because of you, and it's going to be more disgusting because of God. I have nothing to do with this. I was just the bait that God put there for them to do this. Again, this energy has followed me my entire life. My father, psycho-controlling, psycho-paranoia, always getting frustrated. These were like the men in our lives. And then one of my brother, after he got shot in the head, he was always in fear. He was always paranoid. Like, imagine living with somebody that's constantly in fear, constantly paranoid. So trust me when I tell you, the spiritual warfare has been there. Thank God it was quiet for some while. And then once the Illuminatis got to me, it got back to that energy. So I can see it's an energy that's been hovering around my family. Listen, if you would hear my mom's life, which out of respect, I'm not going to talk, you would feel so sorry for her. She was targeted from the age of 15. You know, her first husband was at the age of 17. She was targeted. There was a guy that really, really wanted her. And now I see it. It's the fucking demon. It's the demon that uses vessels to control my lineage. So anyways, this is a long video. I don't want to talk too much about it. The next video, I'm going to talk about how to beat these people, right? Now I'm exposing. I want everyone to see. Do you see what I see? I want everyone to see crystal clearly what I see. And then tomorrow, the day after, I'll make another video about how we're going to go about beating this energy. Okay? Because I've learned, I know how to beat this energy, and I'm going to show everybody how to do it. So thank you for this video. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And thank you to my soul sisters. So here's the thing. Authenticity is a frequency. The people on Instagram didn't have that authenticity. I thought they did. I thought they were like going there. I thought they were fixable, whatever. It's for me, it's not to fix people. I have found my group of authentic people, both sisters and male, both black and white. At some point I had more black than white, but now it balanced out. So thank you to everybody that's being authentic, because trust me when I tell you, the angels are speaking through you. Authenticity is what allows your higher self to embody your physical being. Okay? So higher self, other beings, higher beings are speaking through you towards the world. And I see exactly who they are, and they're all underdogs. They're all shadow banned. They're all underdogs. Besides one girl, she's really gangster. I put this Egyptian thing behind to represent. So thank you again to my sisters and to my brothers. I found my soul group. Okay, I found it on YouTube. And moving forward is just going to be the heydays. Heydays moving forward. It gave me a lot of hope to find these authentic people. There's more out there like me. So thank you very much. And on to the next one. Ciao.